Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has been missing for a few weeks now, and there has been nothing done on television to promote his match with Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. Not since the Muscle Man video on Raw a few weeks ago, and then Lashley beating up Uncle Howdy on Smackdown. So it would appear that the match is either off, or at best, it is in jeopardy of not happening. Now, he missed the recent live event at Madison Square Garden that he was scheduled for against LA Knight last weekend, with no reason given for his absence. He wasn't on Raw. He wasn't on Smackdown, outside of a little Easter egg during a backstage segment where you could see his moth logo. At this point, I'm going to need proof of life for this guy. I have no idea what's going on here. Fightful had a report about Nick Manfredini, a WWE writer who was heavily influential in the creation and creative of the Firefly Funhouse segments, leaving the company earlier this year. It was sometime in the last 2 or 3 months, apparently, that he was... I don't know if he was fired. I don't know exactly the circumstances of his departure, but he was dismissed from the company. This was before Bray disappeared from television. But he was someone who Bray often put over and spoke very highly of behind the scenes. One may have nothing to do with the other, but with everything going on right now, it does make you wonder. Ryan Frederick is a name that you also may not be familiar with. No, he is not a WWE writer. He is a writer, but he's not a writer for WWE. Frederick typically handles UFC coverage for the Wrestling Observer. There were a lot of rumors spreading early in the week about Bray walking out on the company due to creative issues with WWE, or there being some sort of creative reason as to why he suddenly disappeared. Bray was wrestling on house shows last month, but he has not wrestled a single match the entire month of March so far. And Frederick on the F4W message board, I believe it was on Monday, said, probably scooping Sean Ross Sapp's story, but I have heard that Bray is out indefinitely and not on the Mania card due to creative issues. Now, it should be noted that Frederick does not have a great track record when it comes to these things. He was the one who posted, I think it was on a Discord server, that Hangman Page was going to beat CM Punk last year at Double or Nothing, until he cut that workers' rights promo, and then everything changed, and Punk got the result changed. Tony Khan flew all the way to Punk's house in LA and sat on his porch, and the two of them together sang Kumbaya, and they mapped out all the booking for the rest of the summer. He's also the one who reported that the Young Bucks had sent feelers to WWE to gauge their interest in them, which Dave Meltzer, the very man who Ryan works for, later dispelled. So we need to consider the source here when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't know... Yeah, he may have gotten other stories correct. I'm just thinking of some of the bigger ones that broke, for which there was no real corroboration. That's where this story originated from. This was posted on a message board. Not in a newsletter, not on a website. It was posted on a message board. Sean Ross Sapp later reported that Bray missed the MSG show due to a physical issue that WWE has been working around. They're trying to work around, whatever the issue is, and that they are not sure on a return timetable for him. The report says there had been rumors that Wyatt had walked out due to creative issues, but thus far we have not gained any information that would confirm that and have not been told that from anybody in the company. Bobby Lashley tweeted on Monday, I've worked too hard to be denied. I will be ready to fight on the biggest stage of them all at WrestleMania. I don't care who it is. Somebody will feel the wrath of the Almighty. And the implication there is that Bray might not be his WrestleMania opponent after all. There was no mention of Bray Wyatt in that tweet. Lashley was not on Raw. He was not on Smackdown either. I don't know what's going on with Bray's health. I pointed out the knee brace that he's been wearing since he came back in October. I know he either broke or badly dislocated his finger a while back. None of that really explains the Vanishing act. Those first couple of months when he came back, people were buzzing. There was a genuine excitement to see this man back and to see him prove Vince McMahon wrong. Because now, right, Vince fired him and Triple H is the one who brought him back. And so now he's going to prove Vince McMahon wrong. And let me just stop right here. No, just because Bray Wyatt has been a bust so far does not mean that Vince McMahon was right about Bray Wyatt. That would be like breaking someone's kneecaps with a baseball bat and then blaming them for not winning the 50-yard dash. Vince McMahon's own booking decisions did plenty of damage to Bray Wyatt before Vince McMahon ever got rid of the guy. But there was a lot of happiness to see him back, and the White Rabbit campaign was very effective in generating a lot of that enthusiasm. What I was most intrigued by were those first probably couple of promos where he talked about this being the real Bray Wyatt for the first time. We were getting to hear from Bray, the man himself, not the cult leader in the rocking chair from the swamp, not the Fiend, not Funhouse Bray with the puppets. And then they got away from that. They got away from it, and they weren't moving the story along fast enough. I mean, I know people have short attention spans these days. I like a good long-term story as much as anybody, but Jesus Christ, I mean, you got to give people something different with these segments, and they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything any different than what was being shown on television in November and December. It's the same shit every single week, and now he's just completely gone. He's not even around anymore. He has yet to work a regular match since he came back in October. I'm not counting the Mountain Dew Neon Vomit match at the Royal Rumble. These last few months have been a complete disappointment. And Bobby Lashley deserves better at WrestleMania. Here we are 2 weeks from the show, and we don't even know if the match is happening. Even if Bray comes back, if Bray shows up on Raw tomorrow night, with the time they have left, there isn't much they can do to make this match interesting. And if Bray does end up off the WrestleMania card, what I would do, I would have Lashley added to the Brock Lesnar-Omos match and just turn it into a triple threat. Lashley obviously has history with both of them and MVP. But if not that match, I would love to see Bronson Reed one-on-one with Bobby Lashley. They've been giving Bronson Reed these squashes on television every week. He's been getting over that tsunami splash. Right now, he's got no match. You know, you could do the Battle of the Hurt Lock against the tsunami splash. I did get a good laugh out of Lesnar and Omos having exactly one spot to do in their face-to-face on Raw Monday night and botching it, which I'm sure bodes very well for the actual match at WrestleMania. Wade Barrett is now a permanent part of the Smackdown announce team with Michael Cole, or as permanent as things can be in WWE. He told the Daily Star, "It is as permanent as you could ever be in a role in WWE. Historically, things have always been switched around and teams have been moved from here to there. And I'm not saying I'm going to be in the Smackdown hot seat for the next 10 years or anything like that, but in terms of the foreseeable future, it is going to be me and Cole going forward. Pat McAfee is always going to be a friend of WWE. He is an incredibly talented guy, and we are all fans of his, but he has a lot on his plate." Barrett was shifted from NXT's broadcast team, to the Smackdown crew last year when Pat McAfee left to go do College Game Day for ESPN. And they brought in Booker T to replace him next to Vic Joseph on NXT. Those moves were only supposed to be temporary. That has since changed. Booker is now, he's in the hot seat now in NXT. That's going to be his role. And obviously, Barrett is now a permanent fixture on SmackDown. McAfee has tweeted before. He tweeted in February that he had a baby girl on the way, and he wondered what his future would be with WWE. He said, "I love it, but they're allegedly going to be sold, so who's buying them? And do I want to work and make money for those people?" Thursday night, McAfee tweeted, "A lot of wrestling chatter about me right now. I think about wrestling every day. That dream is not done. My business is currently rather active and exigent. Plus, I have a baby on the way. Timing is everything. I still have massive plans for my journey to the WWE Hall of Fame someday. Believe that." So McAfee's got a lot going on right now. He got a baby on the way. He's getting sued by Brett Favre for defamation. I still think we'll see him pop up at WrestleMania the way he did at the Royal Rumble. He could do commentary for one night. I don't think there's any rush to come back. I think Wade Barrett has done a stellar job with Michael Cole over these past few months, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's got a role on the A Show now.